Hi guys, so today I'm going to be telling y'all about 3 different animals and environmental factors that can affect your neurotransmitter. So for my first animal, we're going to be talking about dogs, and you may think that these little things are harmless, and the only way they can hurt us is with their tails, their paws, no, and with their teeth, but they actually can produce a bacteria called Clostridium botulinum, and basically it's a bacteria that produces botulinum toxins. And the way Clostridium botulinum affects our neurotransmitters is that it blocks the release of acetylcholine, and the way it affects our bodies is that it will cause muscle paralysis. Basically, like, you just paralyze, your muscles get paralyzed, and then it can also cause you to stop breathing or start having really bad breathing problems, which can lead to life-threatening situations. So for my second animal, I'm going to be telling y'all about ticks. And basically how you can get ticks is from walking under a bunch of trees, like in the middle of the woods, or walking through tall grass, and basically they fall on you, or they catch onto your pant leg or your socks, or just however they can catch onto you. And you would think that they only give you Lyme disease. And if you don't know what Lyme disease is, it basically looks like you have a target, like a full target where the tick sits in the middle, and you have the circle where the tick is, and then an outer circle. And it makes it to where you can't eat meat, even after you get it removed sometimes. But with some ticks, they can inject neurotoxins, which can cause tick paralysis. And how it affects our neurotransmitters is that the toxins can interfere with the release of acetylcholine. And acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter that is valid for our communication between our nerves and our muscles. Kind of like how it affects the same way as dogs would if they had Clostridium botulinum. But how this toxin can affect our bodies is that it can lead to muscle weakness, and in very severe cases, it can lead to full paralysis. But luckily, removing the tick can stop the symptoms most of the time, but there's still that chance that you could be paralyzed, or you could still have a lot of muscle weakness. But most of the time, they stop once you remove the tick. Well, for my final animal, I'm going to be talking about cats. Like, just look at this sweet little baby. She's my little chunky monkey. That's what she is. But basically, cats can produce a parasitic organism called Toxoplasma gondii. And the way Toxoplasma affects the neurotransmitter is that the parasite may alter our dopamine levels. And basically, dopamine is a chemical messenger, which is another form of transmitter that works the brain. And the way that Toxoplasma affects the body is that it can cause behavioral changes and cause neurological issues, especially in people with compromised immune systems, which means if they don't have the best immune system, they can get really sick. And another thing about this is, in other countries like Japan and China, if you get pregnant, they make you get rid of your cats because they believe that you are more prone to getting toxoplasma. So that's a fun fact. And now I will be moving on to my environmental factors. For my first environmental factor, I'm going to be telling y'all about pesticides. And many pesticides, like organophosphates, are very harmful to our bodies. And the way it affects our neurosystems is through the acetylcholine, which is the same thing as dogs and cats can affect us. And the way it can affect our bodies is that over a long time of exposures and cause muscle spasms and cause major respiratory issues. And confusion. Just like I'm confused all the time. For my second environmental factor, I'm going to be telling you about lead. And lead is another concern, especially if you're exposed for it for too long. But the way lead can affect our neurotransmitters is that it affects the dopamine and the glutamate. And glutamate, it has several receptors that are found throughout the central nervous system. And how it can affect our bodies is that it can make learning difficult, along with memory. It might be hard to remember things. And then it also can cause long-term nerve system damage, which is very bad. For my last and final environmental factor, I'm going to be telling you about air pollution. And in air pollution, there's a harmful toxin called carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide sucks. It's not fun. But carbon monoxide affects our neurotransmitters by the flow of oxygen to the brain that is disturbed. So it disturbs the amount of oxygen we will get. And it affects multiple of our transmitters because of lack of oxygen. And carbon monoxide can affect our bodies if we are exposed for too long to it, and it can cause headaches, it can cause cognitive declines and confusion, and then eventually you'll start losing your memory from it. And that's why you should invest in carbon monoxide detectors, because they're real lifesavers. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all have a good day.